What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. This is your boy Swipa. We are here with another episode with Mile High Sport. And y'all, we got to talk about the Denver Broncos versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, again, preseason game number 2. How does the Denver Broncos offense build on the momentum that it captured in week 1? Things looked a little shoddy, looked a little rough here and there. How did Russell Wilson and company bounce back? We're going to get in that a little bit. And then on top of that as well, how will the defense show up? First team defense got a good bit of reps yesterday. Patrick Surtain made his debut in the preseason. And look, Jamari Mathis looks all right. Justin Simmons played as well. Caden Stern, Kareem Jackson. Man, got a lot to get into, y'all. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We're growing, trying to build this community up. We got a lot of great content, a lot of great people, trying to make sure you get all the information you need about all your local Colorado sports teams. Hey, we're about to take it to the next level. Y'all, so the Denver Broncos yesterday, they ended up losing to the San Francisco 49ers 20-21. And Russell Wilson and the Broncos offense, they took the drive after the Brock Purdy-led 49ers went down and got a field goal. And shout out to the defense. The 49ers ran a couple bootleg plays. One of them ended up being a wide open 25-yard reception for Deebo Samuels. They got a couple runs up the middle as well. And you could tell that the game script for the 49ers was everything. Movement, get the defense running side to side. That way you get Brock Purdy some really nice open passing lanes. He even got one that was contested where he had a double level play going. So he had one that was crossing his fade in a shallow cross, and then he had one that was running an over route, basically kind of at a 12 to 15 yard intermediate pass, and he ended up throwing the ball over to shallow, and the receiver caught it for a really nice gain. So Brock Purdy actually did really well. I want to say he had roughly around 65 yards passing on his first drive, and he was 4 or 5 as well. Again, a lot of movement stuff. But this is what I will say. The Denver Broncos defense has stepped up really big right here. Now, the defense for the Broncos, again, they gave up some gashes early on, but they really closed out that drive really well. The 49ers got it down all the way with inside to 5. And again, the 49ers, one of the best red zone offenses in the NFL. The the Denver Broncos last season, one of the best red zone defenses in the NFL. So how will they respond? And they ended up responding really well. I'm not going to hold y'all. Somebody that stood out multiple times yesterday, a lot of y'all already know where I'm going. Man, Jonathan Cooper, balled. Alex Singleton, balled. They really made some really, really crucial plays that ended up saving them on that possession. Cooper, man, right now, there looks like there's going to be a little bit of a battle between Frank Clark, Cooper, who's going to be starting next to Randy Gregory. And right now, it looks like it might be Jonathan Cooper. He had some tremendous plays that he made yesterday, including within the 5-yard line. Got a nice sack on Brock Purdy that ended up helping to stall out that possession to keep them out of the end zone. Really, again, a lot of this comes down to the Denver Broncos defense is having DJ Jones, having Zach, having the rushers with Gregory and Cooper, Frank Clark. How do you make that work to a high enough degree to Patrick, Damari, Justin, Kawan? How do you make sure that everybody has enough time to make sure they're covering up their man, but you can get a little bit of pressure as well? One thing that I really like that defensive coordinator Vance Joseph did is that he drew up a lot of inside linebacker blitzes for the Denver Broncos because he wants to make sure that if quarterbacks are playing versus Denver, you're going to have to beat a quality rush. And that really started to show once the first drive sat down. Now, I know a lot of people, you might not be aware of this, but offenses typically script their first 15 to 20 plays of a game. The head coach, in this instance, Kyle Shanahan, who's also the OC, basically goes throughout the week drawing up for Brock Purdy or Trey Lance or whoever they're going to have quarterbacking their team this year, Sam Darnold. They're going to give them 15 to 20 plays that, hey, this is how we're starting the game off. We're going to get them going where they want them to go. And then basically after that, now it's a chess game. And in the first drive, it's really hard because typically good offenses, not the Denver Broncos offense from last year, you really get a lot of momentum on that first drive. So the Broncos did a really good job holding them out there, and Jonathan Cooper was excellent. Singleton was excellent on that drive. So really good shout out to them. But opening drive for Russell Wilson, really interesting. So Russell Wilson, you look at his stat line, it's not like it was incredible yesterday. Russell Wilson threw for 3 of 6, 24 yards, and not a lot of yards. And it didn't seem like he did a lot, but his legs were outstanding yesterday. Russell Wilson had 3 attempts for 25 yards on rushes, and he was making sure that if the pocket broke down, he was able to sneak up the middle. He even had a little shovel pass to Shamaji Perine, or Javonte Williams rather, that he caught. That was being a little contested over the course of that time as well. But I really do think that what you were able to see from Russell Wilson is a very competent offense. I think that's the thing. So Sean Payton has come in, basically set the tone for the rest of the team that last year was last year. We're going to set the tone, be disciplined, play to our strengths. And y'all, Javonte Williams made his debut after tearing his ACL and other ligaments last October. And he really was able to come out and show that he looks like the guy from last year. He had 3 attempts for 12 yards last game. And then he also caught 4 catches for 18 yards as well. So you can see the dual threat value that Javonte has. Now, again, he's going to get better as the year goes on because typically when you come back from the ACL injury, trusting your body again, and he also spoke about this, I want to make sure that I'm trusting my knee. So that first hit was really big for him. That way he can really climb that first initial hurdle and get back to playing high-level NFL football and really, maybe getting on a Pro Bowl track at some point as well. So really good to see him. I will say, the only thing I did not love about the offense was Russell Wilson had to scramble so much because the 49ers were getting home, and Nick Bosa didn't even play yesterday. And they got home because Ben Powers, for instance, really got beat badly right over the left guard position. Just really a basic swim. His technique wasn't good. His hand placement wasn't good. He was too high and ended up getting beat and then kind of forces them to be in a situation they didn't want to be in on a sack. But, a lot of this is – I do think it's really important that they are able to make sure that they can get enough protection for Russell Wilson. That way they can do what they need to do, and that way they can get the ball into the end zone. They can get down the field. Thankfully, they were able to get a field goal, and Brett Maher is just going to be way better than what they had last week. Actually played really well yesterday. Made all of his kicks as well, I believe. Let me make sure. See how they did. Yeah, he was 2 of 2. Longest was 48 yesterday, and honestly, looked really solid. And so I think he's going to be good this year. Obviously, Brandon McManus did not come back last year, from last year to this year. Last remnant from Super Bowl 15 that was on the roster. But again, Russell Wilson looked really good. We didn't really get to see a lot from Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. There just weren't a lot of balls being thrown their way. Jerry Jeudy had 1 catch for 5 yards yesterday. Greg Dulcich had a really nice catch over the sideline. Actually broke a tackle to get a first down for an 18-yard reception. So, again, we'll have to see how their offense continues to pick it up as the rest of the preseason goes. But I think if I was a Denver Broncos fan, how I would feel about this is I actually would be encouraged. I would be encouraged by what it is that we're seeing right now. I think that you're getting better process, better offense, better communication. And I think that is pivotal for making sure that the offense is looking leagues better than it did last season, scoring 16 points a game. So we'll see how this ends up being, but I really do think that you should be encouraged by what you're seeing from Sean Payton, what you're seeing from Russell Wilson as well. But I'm excited for the defense, especially with Jonathan Cooper. What is he going to look like with Randy Gregory coming back? And also, obviously, we had an unfortunate injury yesterday. Jalen Virgil, he ended up, I think, tearing his meniscus, so he's going to be out for a little while. But we'll have to see if they want to do a full repair, if they're going to do a partial repair, which is basically they can cut out a part of the meniscus or they can take the entire thing out. But, hopefully he doesn't do that because that's bring arthritis later on in life. But yeah, y'all, I'm encouraged by the offense, encouraged by what I'm seeing. What do you think? What are your initial thoughts on the Denver Broncos preseason game 2? Does this team look better than it did last year? Are you encouraged by what you saw from Russell Wilson, from the running game? Do you think Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams look like a good 1-2 punch? Are you encouraged by the wide receivers yesterday, or did you feel like the activity that they didn't get was due just because of the fact they had one drive with the starters? What do you think about the defense and the kicking game? Really just give your overall thoughts. Mile High Sports, man, we're building, we're growing. This community is great. We're going to get there, man. We got a whole NFL season coming up. Got some really special stuff. So if you are on the Swipa Gang side, you're on the Mile High Sports side, y'all, hey, lock in. A lot of great stuff coming out, y'all. Hey, I'll catch you on the other side.